마지막으로 만나보실 기업은 혼합 현실을 통한 고령자 치매 재활 디지털 치료제를 개발하고 있는 고큐바테크놀로지의 릴랜드 크레스웰 부사장님 단상으로 모시겠습니다.
감사합니다. Hi everybody. So my name is Leland. Nice to meet you. Though I can't see you, be nice to see you. So I'm going to be presenting to you about what we're doing, trying to use mixed reality to find the early signs of dementia and hopefully prevent a few people from getting it. So right now, the biggest problem with dementia, Alzheimer's, and similar neurological diseases is that it's very expensive to scan for and to detect the disease, right? Especially at a high enough accuracy where you can say for certain that this person has Alzheimer's or not. Because as everyone knows, Alzheimer's and many neurological diseases, one of the issues with that is that it's not as easy to detect and to confirm as someone having their finger cut off, right? So I just have down here, oops. It's about $3,000 to do this sort of full, PID, PET brain scanning. So the actual precise analysis and diagnosis is very expensive. And in order to catch Alzheimer's early, you have to also start testing early. And if you're doing these tests over and over again, I mean, that's a huge amount of money, right? And that's why most people aren't getting their brain scanned every year or every half year for Alzheimer's, right? It's just, it's too heavy of a thing to be doing. So we want to try to help solve this problem somehow. So our solution is that we are using the eyes as our main data source, and basically we're trying to take the MMSE, which I'm pretty sure most of you have no clue what it is, but the MMSE is basically the kind of gold world standard for low-cost initial early detection of dementia, Alzheimer's, and this sort of thing. What it is basically you have your doctor, usually a specialist, sits down with the patient and then goes through a bunch of questions and answers, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of time, and then they basically calculate a report based on that. So it's kind of a soft sort of Q&A thing, and it relies a lot on the skill of the doctor who's actually doing it, right? And so what we want to do is we want to also provide a very early and low-cost option, but using eye tracking, okay? So instead of having a specialist, which is very expensive, go through questions and answers and, try to get some initial indication, we want to instead use a device that the user just puts on their head and actually has fun using to get this data and then to get the same signal. So we want to basically completely replace the MSE worldwide. We're going to start here in Korea and then go Asia and then over to Canada, my home, and then hopefully global. And so the initial hardware that we're using for this data collection is the Microsoft HoloLens 2 device, because it's not a fully consumer-grade device yet. It's a little bit too expensive for that. But it provides us with the eye tracking that we need, as well as the mixed reality and augmented reality interactive content, the ability to display that and do both at the same time. Really important thing is, in order to get good data from the person and their eyes, they have to be interacting with something, they have to be moving around and doing something. So of course that's a little bit hard to do when they're just sitting down looking at a TV monitor or doing like a 2D laser saccades test or something, right? So anyways, this is kind of overall what we're trying to do. So we can get, and just a quick aside here, the accuracy we can get from research that was done last year and 2 years ago in the UK, the accuracy that we can theoretically get to should be equal to or higher than the MMSE. And so the whole, I guess, thing, if you look at it together, we provide, as I said, interactive, like entertainment, tests, this sort of thing. We're getting the data similar to the MMSE. So, private clinic, the same areas that you're already doing MMSE, instead you're using our device. And then at the back end, of course, the revenue model and all of the, where we're getting our money from is going to be the same as the MMSE as well. Private clinics, senior centers, community centers, all of these areas that are doing these tests, instead they could use our device. They would still have the support from government subsidy, everything. And then, of course, we would be taking a cut of that profit. That's kind of the whole thing together. So this is kind of just a very simple example. You have your VR environment. We're tracking the eyes at the same time. And in terms of our traction, we are working with the 고려대학, the Korea University ANSAM team. They're on the medical side, of course, to help push up our accuracy and make sure that we can actually overcome our clinical trials and get to be a class 2 device and actually start selling. And then Seongnam City is our main partner in terms of getting initial users, senior centers, seniors, and all of this other stuff. So sorry for the lack of time, but thank you very much for listening to my wonderful speech. Maybe you can ask me some questions and I'll give you more information.
너무 감사합니다. 질문 있으시면 질문해 주시기 바랍니다.
Great. Thanks, Leland.
예, 감사합니다.
Any questions?
예, 질문 부탁드립니다.
Okay. Hi, Leland. How does your go-to-market strategy look like?
Go-to-market. So initially, we're going through Seongnam City. We're doing our clinical trial first because we have to do. Right now, we're in the process of doing our IRB. So we go IRB, we go clinical trial, class 2 device, and then during that process, we're also getting our initial batch of beta users. And of course, the beta users are used to polish our UI, make sure it's ready for commercial. So the actual go-to-market is going to be mainly based on professional network and word of mouth. That'll be initially. And then we're also going to be going through kind of a top-down approach. For example, with Seongnam City, they have access to all of the senior centers in the area, and they make it much easier for us to get information about our service out to all of the different senior centers and private clinics and whatnot. So we're going to continue going with that top-down approach where we're basically going to each municipality and we're talking to them and we're saying, this is the device, this is what it can do, this is what it can, the amount of money it can save for these professionals. So there's the municipal side, and then kind of the same thing, the same sort of top-down word of mouth. We're going to go through the professional networks. So basically networks of doctors and networks of private clinics.
Got it. Thank you.
So, hi Leland. By the way, for probably I missed this, but in the long term for the patient, right? How much cheaper it would be to run this test compared to the traditional MMSE test again?
Yeah, sorry that I couldn't cover that. Actually, I probably should have, but yeah. So the MMSE is about $120 to run one test. And that's mainly comes from the requirement to have a specialist actually there asking questions. It's kind of a waste of time for them, to be honest. So on our side, technically the cost would be about like 40 cents or maybe 30 cents in terms of like actual cost to us. But the actual cost that we're going to be charging is about $10 per like full sort of session, I guess you'd call it. And that seems to be what so far the market can bear here in Korea. Of course, we are actually a seed company, so we don't have, like, looking at some of the other startups here, they got 20, 30, 40 people. It's kind of pretty large, but we have a team of 10 people, so we're still kind of in the early stages where we're exploring what we can actually sell this for. So, I'd love to give you an even more accurate, indication right now, but that's the best I can do. So $120 down to $10. So far, it looks like we're able to do it, and then we'll tweak from here.
Yeah, looks. I think that looks good, and I think looks promising as well. The company. So have you actually tested this before with, potentially people who have dementia, or this is just the starting of the trial?
Yes, so we've done initial tests through 고려대학, the Korea University ANSAM team. So they actually have a neurological team there that has people with Alzheimer's, people going through MCI. We've done some initial tests with them. I can't say like with any certainty until our clinical trial is finished about the actual specificity and the accuracy that we have at that point. But I will say, because we're using deep learning and neural network tech, right? The more data that we're able to get, we should be able to continuously push up the accuracy. And we feel, even if our accuracy is a bit below the MMSE to begin with, it's not really too much of a problem because we're already saving a lot of money, and also because the MMSE and also our device is intended as a early screening tool or early screening device, right? So we're basically saying, use our device, it's not expensive, just double check you're okay. And then we say there's a problem, and then they go into the major hospitals and they start spending the thousands of dollars for PET brain scans and stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. Got it. Thank you.
네, 이제 두 번째로 최우수상을 발표하도록 하겠습니다. 최우수상은요, 고큐바테크놀로지의 릴랜드 크레스웰 부사장님 나오시죠. 네, 축하드립니다. 네, 그래서 축하드리고요. 정말 그 미래 치매 치료에 대해서 정말 선구자적인 기술을 또 개발하시길 기대를 해 봅니다. 네, 축하드립니다.